Alright guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So today's video is on possibility of war, World War III. There's a lot of stuff going on in the country. There's a lot of stuff going around the globe. We can connect dots. Let's just go ahead and show you some of the things that are going on and let you decide for yourself if this is a possibility and what we need to do to prepare. One of the first things I want to discuss, I see it all over the internet. I am not a professional gamer. As a matter of fact, I don't even play video games. There's a lot of speculations on how to survive, how to prepare for war, what tactics you need to be using. But they play video games. That's where they learn their stuff. Good, get that up there for you. I was munitions systems for the United States Air Force. In other words, my job entailed working in an ammo dump, assembling weapons, learning how and being taught how to apply fuses, timers. Yeah. So, with this video, I'm speaking from experience and knowledge on a lot of these spectrums here, all these topics that we're discussing. This isn't because I played a video game or read a book, and now I know everything. So one of the first things we need to talk about is Russia. Russia has a military base in the Arctic. We've been saying that for years. Now they have satellite imagery of it. Here's some photos for you guys. All right, so what does this mean? Well, they're saying that they started doing this because of the whole global warming event. They now have the ability to test safely weapons. Yeah. Remember all the stories of the Russian bombers always entering Alaska airspace? It's just a game. We play with them, they play with us, and just over and over and over again. Well, what happens when it's no longer a game? Tests and defenses. Alright, so now we also have the South China Sea. The blockade of naval vessels, mass amounts. Using fishing vessels to blockade waterways. China. There's a lot of stuff going on, guys, that is setting up the stage. Something's fixing to happen. So what do we need to do to prepare? No, I'm not going to tell you to run to the front lines with your AR. I've got some video clips in the background, hopefully to wake up some individuals on what combat is. It's not what you see in the movies. I've got a good friend, actually he's a relative, that was Force Recon. Messed him up. Physically, he's fine. It's not the movies, guys. I've got a lot of combat veteran friends. This stuff messes you up. When you see the ones here on YouTube bragging, talking about how they're going to do this, how they're going to do that, how they've been conditioning themselves, call BS. Call BS. The guys that have really seen the shit, they're not on here talking about it. They're just not. Now, one of the things I do want to discuss, guys, with the possibility of nuclear exchange. Now, we took that off the table for some reason in society. Even myself, I even dialed it back. You know what? I just don't see other countries using nuclear weapons. One, because it messes up the land. All right, it destroys the land. You're not going to be able to grow things like that. I'm at the point now where I think all bets are off on what type of weaponry they're going to use. Now, well, I have talked about EMP weapons. I have shown and proven that EMP weapons exist and documented. In my belief, I think they would use an EMP weapon to knock out a power grid before an invasion force comes in. But, hey, I could be wrong. It could be a nuclear exchange. With Russia, they're talking about using the new, testing out the Poseidon torpedo, nuclear powered torpedo that can create a tidal wave to hit the seaboards of America. Now, with this, it's also a radioactive waste that is coming onto the seaboard. It will mess up the landscape for many, many years, make it uninhabitable. Why would they be working on something like that if they're planning on invasion? Well, maybe it's just to take us out. Maybe they have no intention of invading. Maybe they just take the big dog off the table, take him out of the yard. Quite possibly. Doesn't mean I'm right on that aspect. To me, it's more strategically to use an EMP weapon and take out the power grid and damage infrastructure than roll in. That makes more sense to me. But there's talk. So let's talk about this talk. What do we need to do to prepare for nuclear fallout, nuclear radiation? All right, guys, so I have our basic kit here. I've shown that before. This is what we keep in our get home bags. We also keep in our bug out bags. We keep them in our home. These things we're able to buy early, store up. We're preppers. Try and buy some of these items now, you're going to be paying out the nose. Now, all this item here will work just fine for radiation fallout. There's some myths and stuff we need to talk about though. Alright, the IOSAT tablets. These things right here, guys. The myth is you can take IOSAT tablets and nuclear radiation of any kind, you'll be safe from. That is not true. IOSAT tablets is a blocking agent for your thyroid. What this does is protect your thyroid from absorbing certain isotopes from entering your thyroid, causing thyroid cancer. That's all it does. It does not protect you from radiation. There's still a whole bunch of radioactive isotopes in radiation and nuclear fallout. This is just to protect your thyroid while you're trying to get out of an area. Now, this particular one has 14 tablets. You take one tablet per day. Instructions and directions are on the package. Legacy, we're affiliated with, does sell these, but they sell a bottle. This is something I picked up on Amazon 2 years ago. You get about a 7-year shelf life out of these things. So, moving on. The gas mask. Alright, this is the simplest gas mask. We bought this a while back, guys. I don't know if it's going to show up because the green on this thing. Gas mask. I've heard so much crap. These things don't work, man. You're full of crap. You are crazy. You need a such and such gas mask. This is going to be just fine dealing with nuclear fallout. None of this equipment keeps you safe from radiation penetrating your body as far as rays like an X-ray. It is designed to keep nuclear fallout off of your skin. It's designed to keep nuclear fallout from breathing that stuff in. That's what this gear is for. I hear it all the time. Well, that's not going to work. Shut up. Okay, so we got a couple of these. We actually, I forgot how many we have. These are a cheaper brand, so we bought a bunch of these things in case one ever was to fail. We got plenty more on hand. There are more expensive, more nicer gas masks out there. Absolutely. All right, so we have NBC filters. These are the full 40 millimeter filters, and I already hear it now. It's not going to work. Again, I have shown this works. I have shown the screws down just fine. It seals up. There's nothing wrong with it. There is a large gasket in these particular filters. Big old black O-ring, which bites down on this. It works. Now, how long does a filter work? It just depends on how much contamination you are breathing in your area. Okay. Now, heavy contamination, you might get 45 minutes to 90 minutes, maybe. All right. You'll know when you start having difficulty breathing through these things. That's when you know, hey, you need to change out your filter. So we have those. We also have a different brand. It is a NBC filter. I don't even remember what the brand is. I got it on Amazon a while back. This is the plastic housing instead of the metal housing. Is it better than the other one? No, it's the same. It's what it is. Okay, so moving on, guys. Protective equipment. We have gloves. This is a rubberized glove. It has fabric on the inside. but it's heavy rubberized on the outside. This is just to add protection on our skin so nuclear fallout does not touch our skin when we have to move out of an area, because you will need to be evacuating unless you are in a bunker somewhere. You need to have some type of protective equipment. This also is picked up on Amazon, guys. Now, with the gloves, we have a chemical suit. Now, right here, well, that's not an NBC suit. This chemical suit does not breathe. It covers my head, my feet. It covers all the way down to my hand. That's why we have the longer gloves. Also, with the longer gloves, we have duct tape. Duct tape to seal up the edge of our gloves and our sleeves. I think that's the helmet. That's the hat. Is this a NBC suit? No. This is designed to keep dust particles off of us while we have to move. It's a lot cheaper. It does work. Again, sorry to hear the comments. Well, I read, and this YouTuber said blah, blah, blah. Ask the YouTuber the background, please. Now, guys, we have the Sawyer Mini. I have shown the Sawyer Mini on our channel many times. I love to use the Sawyer Minis. All the Sawyer products are freaking awesome. These will not filter out nuclear waste, radiation. This is no good with nuclear fallout. Neither is the Life Straw. Most of your water filters are not going to work. You need to store water. I know, storing water takes up a lot of room. It weighs a lot. Absolutely. Your stored water will be safe. Now, this stored water will be fine as long as it's sealed. All right, even if it's a 2-liter water bottle and you put the liter cap back on, it's sealed. The radioactive dust cannot get into it. If it lands on the outside, you wash it off. All right, you clean it off before you open up the seal again. Your water's gonna be fine. Now, if you're in a blast radius area, no, don't scavenge anything from a blast radius area. All right, if something hit New York and you're gonna go acquire some items off the blown up streets, don't do that. That stuff's radioactive. All right, because it's right there. I'm talking about fallout dust. All right, the stuff that lands on everything, covers hundreds of miles. That's what we're talking about here. So your stored water will be fine. You need to have a way to collect rainwater afterwards. And I don't mean directly afterwards. Do not get me wrong. Do not drink rainwater after a nuclear fallout. There's going to be a lot of stuff in it. Once your skies are clear, once all that debris has fallen back to Earth, all right, once all that's gone, having tarps and rain catcher systems that are ready to be put out in place, built and ready to go, that are clean because they are sealed up and put away, now you have a way of collecting water. Because your city water, odds are, won't be running anyway because power's no longer available. But the city water has a huge possibility of contaminant. I wouldn't try using city water, and even if there's running water, don't mess with it. Your well water, on the other hand, as long as your well has not been contaminated, you're good. All right, well water is a lot better. Now you can get a Geiger counter. Geiger counters are great, but you also have to have them calibrated. All right, I think it's every year you got to get them recalibrated, make sure that they're working correctly. They are not cheap. Let's be honest. Things that work are not cheap. So there you go. And now food. Your canned goods, your dry goods, everything that's sealed up in your prepper closet, you're good. If radioactive dust was to come into wherever you've got stuff stored, just wash it off. All right, wash it off. That food, as long as it's not open and that dust particle has entered it, it's good. All right, if you have an open, let's say you have a cereal box, you know, you just open it up, shove the plastic back in, seal the box back up, don't eat that. Possibility radioactive dust has gotten in there. Just throw it out. Don't eat it. Now, we have talked about in the past with our nuclear fallout preparedness about showers. Yes, you want to shower. Do not use conditioner. Don't. Conditioner is the worst thing you can do when washing your hair, washing your body, when you're dealing with nuclear activity. Nuclear fallout, dust particles. Do not, I repeat, do not use conditioner. You can use shampoo, but do not use shampoo and conditioner. That conditioner is going to be very harmful for you. Do not use it. Now, global conflict, nuclear war, grid down. Yes, these can be scary scenarios. All right, it can get fear pornish if you want to. We're just talking facts on what you do to prepare. Now, with the possibility of another global war, it's looking more and more that it's going to be coming to our home front. Not just overseas somewhere that we send troops. No, here. In other words, we are targeted. And that's a whole new, different scenario. Now, we can learn a lot from our past wars. We can look at how rationing and stuff happened. I always tell people to look up the history of World War II. Look up the Depression days. See how rationing was a huge thing. You're not going to get fuel. I'll tell you that much. If you have fuel stored up, hide it, because it will be taken. And no, I don't mean from the neighbor, which the neighbor might. There will be people under government authority to round up supplies in this type of conflict. It will happen. If you are a prepper, hide your food, hide your fuel. If you got solar, we got solar, hide it. Put it somewhere else. Use it when you need it. But hide it. Don't just leave it on top of your house where anybody driving by can see. They got solar, we're gonna go collect that. Hide this stuff. And guys, be prepared to evacuate. Don't try to ride out a nuclear radioactive area. Don't. If there's fallout all over your area, you have a window that you need to shelter in place. After the decay time on the radiation cuts back, you can leave. Get out of the area until it can get cleaned up by government officials, and if there are no government officials to come and clean up that area, just move. You don't want to be living there. Now, you're not going to develop superhero powers because you got dosed with radiation. No, you're going to die a horrible, miserable, agonizing death. That's the facts. Has there been people that survived nuclear explosions? Yeah, there's a story of a guy, he lived through 2 of them. Yeah, back in World War II. I mean, I want to live, but I don't want to go through the stuff he had to go through. Have an evacuation plan. I get it. Well, I can't evacuate. Do not allow yourself to have "I can't" in your vocabulary ever again. Work on ways. Work on ways. Develop networks. Well, I don't know anybody. Then go learn to make new friends. Go talk to people. Look online. There's a lot of prepper groups that are being built. No, I'm not saying go blindly into a prepper group that you found online, but vet them. They don't need to know where you live at and stuff like that. Go check them out. Go talk to them. Get involved with your community. Well, I live in the inner city. Well, that sucks trying to work, with everything else that goes on in the inner cities, but that goes on everywhere. Inner cities, yeah, they have some bad things go on. Rural areas got some bad things go on. It's where discernment comes in. Learn to read people. Is it always easy? No. I made mistakes. Thought people were different. And later on over time, I realized who they were. That's just human nature. It sucks. People suck. It's the way it is. You need to work on your family's preparedness, your preparedness. What do you value in life? I don't mean monetary things. It should be family. All right? Now, I don't talk to my family. I don't talk to this person. I don't talk to that person. I'm not saying go make amends and go get screwed over by somebody that screwed over you in the past. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about your close family, your kids, your mother, father, wife, husband. You'd do anything to protect them, wouldn't you? Well, CFP, my spouse thinks I'm crazy. Okay, that's fine. I've dated people that thought I was nuts. You know what? I could be nuts. I mean, I got a perfect tinfoil hat put back, but I still prepped. I didn't give them crap about them spending money on stupid stuff. Well, how many times in my life have I had to use my preps? Many, many times. Things happen. You don't always have to have everybody's approval for what you're doing. You don't. Now, I'm not saying go take your mortgage, rent money, and go buy preps and leave the bag out for your spouse to go, what's going on? No, about $5 a week, $10 a week. Put it back. It's a start. All right, guys, y'all take care. Speak to y'all later.